Yo, what's up, guys? It is Nick here with some raw day trading. The action today was a little meh until CRVO came along and started giving heavy momentum. But CRVO to me just looked like one of those names that I always lose on, and I decided not to trade it, at least until much later into the move when it was exploding. Slash already had exploded, slash I had gone for a walk. It basically did this like on the 5 minute grind up here just for almost like an hour, really. Yeah, till 9:50 to 10:50. And one, starting at 10 o'clock, you see this type of action, and then on the 1 minute, there wasn't much else going on, and this looked just like a trap name. And let's get into the video here. Actually, I'm going to shut down. I don't know why I cancel. Let me shut down my charting here and just get into the video because I think it gives a better idea of how tricky this name was, or how tricky it looked, because I have to judge stuff in the moment at the time of stuff going on. And this was surely a difficult one. I am flat on the day, like literally down $6. I lost a little money on GV, I think. I'm not sure where it's here. Ray was moving. I lost some money on that. I kept thinking that because it moved yesterday, it would have at least a short covering. Shorts would get scared out and pop above 80, pop up to the 200-day, then fail. Didn't happen, and I positioned a few times for it, and it was okay. $100 on that. It was about maybe a $500 to $1,000 move that I would have caught, so that's fine. If on the low end, it would probably have been about 300 if I was pretty timid with it and it didn't move quickly. What else? Okay, so CRVO. I take note of CRVO right here at 10:38, and as you can see, I looked at this part of the action. Let me even see if I had it up before. Yeah, I don't think I even thought it was worth taking. Okay, so wait, CRVO right here. This is what I see. And so you get this kind of like 5 minute up and then heavy volume next 5 minute, but it doesn't hold much higher. And then, it pops up, but let's watch that action. Is it playable? I don't know. I was just very tricked out by this action. So you see you have this very tight spread. You have, now that I'm familiar with how the stock moves after today, I'm a little bit more comfortable with it. But this is higher volume on the green, on the red here. This is a little bit of a reversal candle indicator. And, okay, so you have a test down here. And the way this was going is, just to give you context, normally there's a line, and on small caps, that line gets broken, then comes up, and then goes, right? On this one, what tricks me out, because on other names, I think what tricks me out is like, this line basically was so stable. This line of support here was so stable. It tapped it so many times. And because it tapped it so many times, I felt that if it did break, and the volume here was indicating to me that there was a potential, but if it did break, I thought it would skip from $3.40 down to $3. And so I wasn't comfortable really trading it with much size, if at all. And I was flat on the day. And today was a pretty dry volume day. Nothing really was going on. And plus, it's still kind of tricky. in the market right now, just overall. And so I was being very hands off, and I'm okay with that. That's the risk I played was not risking enough, and for the week, the last 10 days that I've had trading, I'm okay with that. Okay, so then it starts coming up above here as it started to test, and I'm like fucking around with trend lines, and then it starts going, and now I'm like, well, I'm not going to take that. Now that it's all the way up there. It just feels very controlled. The action felt very, very controlled. And yeah, I mean, look at that. The volume is slow. It's kind of testing down low here. Sorry, yeah. And so that just is what it is. Wasn't the and it's like higher red volume here. It just felt so like it already tested 377, and now it's kind of totally reversing. And then doing this kind of tricky, like I didn't have confidence again that I could make money on it, but it kept going up and it kept doing this grindy thing. And so I just wanted to go to wilder pastures, and this is what I did. I did nothing. And so I come back to CRVO. Now it's up. I come back to it at this point, and it had broken above. It had really done this like kind of pretty heroic red to green here, which has turned out to be a 5-minute pattern, or actually probably more accurately a 15-minute pattern. But this looks like it wants to do straight up, straight down. It gets reversed here and just really explodes after 10:30, and then test lower, and it holds up right here. So that could have been the first trade, and then this right here, just based off the chart. So now the action, you're dealing with the risk here. It's a little bit higher risk. Just because these names tend to be less predictable for me. But I did like something here. Okay, this area right here. Let's see, one more test down. Buy right there. Sell. Buy again. Buy again. Boom. That would have been beautiful. And I was watching that kind of, but like, look how fat. Do you see that though? Look at that. It does this kind of rejection thing. And it's like, do you buy that? It would have worked out in this situation, but what about other situations? I would say it has a higher likelihood of working out, because it had already pivoted up once. It had pivoted up twice. It was above this main pivot like here, and it was holding above for 2 pivots. And this just jargon, but basically, so like this kind of consolidation zone, this mini consolidation zone, this mini consolidation zone, and it hesitates here for just long enough, and it's a support zone at 5. So like, but then it pops up really quick. So you might have been able to get in 30, 20, and now you're kind of like, what do I do? And there's still 30 seconds left in this candle. Really possible that it flips here. So it's just a tricky one, right? But I eventually later on I did start trading it, and I started using 100 shares. I couldn't even trade. I didn't even have the cojones to trade it with 500 shares. And then there are a couple points here where you could have, like I was watching here, this was a point of possible buy where you have this long extension candle, a little dip hesitation here, buy right there, holding, watching, holding, watching, keeps pushing. Oh, hesitation. Oh, no. Back up above. Holding, holding. Sell half. Looking for 50, basically. But anyways, that was one. And then this was another one that was a little bit more tricky. Another entry here. But you're coming to the close of the candle. It looks like it's getting pinned. And buy right there. Oh, and then wow, look at that. Up to 6. Can we get 6? Doesn't want to give 6 just yet. But if you're in a 5-3, you're sitting pretty. And so you can kind of just hold. Let me sell half right there. Sell the rest right there. Yeah, I mean that was a good spot. I kept pushing. I had a few trades here where I actually did all right. I started, like, I'd been watching the action. I mentally adapted to the way it was moving, and I started trading it and getting into the flow a little bit. And I was able to catch like a couple cents here and there. I think I was up maybe $10, $12 at one point on 100 shares, which is 10, 12 cents, which, you can, I don't know, man, it's not even, like, it's 100 shares. So you can add a couple thousand shares to that and then make money. But none of that matters. It's doing this kind of support thing again. The hour closes right here, and this is like some doji stuff up here, or like an ending kind of thing on pretty high volume. It's getting capped on the 5-minute, and get in again. Okay, up 15 cents on it. And this is me practicing, because I usually wouldn't trade these. It's like a main name. It's super high volume, very competitive, can be kind of unclear at times. And so you're kind of relying on this mass herd mentality instead of just a few traders where you can see their actions. And so this is where I get messed up, or start to get messed up. I try to take a breakout, which is actually into this kind of spike level right here where it already got rejected off of. I should have waited a little bit longer on that if I was trying to take a breakout, and maybe just not take the breakout whatsoever. And then I'd keep trying to trade it here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This level, so you see how it gets this kind of flat bottom here, like down before, I don't know, when it was, probably over here, a little bit further back on the chart. But what I was showing you from earlier is like once these levels get broken, it creates a pretty swift cascade as traders stop out underneath it. And so I'm there. I actually get out unscathed on that one. I take a trade just over the level, get out, and I'm going to take another trade here. Should have stopped. Oh, stop out right there, and then I'm back to flat on the day. I jump back in, thinking it's going to bounce, and now I'm down $6. And I jump back in again lower, which was the mistake, as it was clearly pushing lower. So I was in at 86, and now I'm stopping out at 60, 70. Oh, actually I get a decent fill here. But I was down quite a bit relatively for the name and how much size I was using. Yeah, and this does tend to be the spot also on the chart where it turns the backside into the move. I end up losing a lot of money here. So it's going to be no surprise on a breakout. First green candle, I'm late to the party. Hopefully I don't take it over. I do take it over 6. It looks like it's holding, but there's just so much resistance coming into here that it just doesn't make sense to be trading it. Like it's jumping like it wants to jump, but it's too juicy for shorts. It's too juicy for sellers who got faked out, longs who got faked out there, and then I just keep taking losses here. And I'm gonna take a dip, I think right here or something, and it just keeps going. And I think where I could have done better here was, okay, so 5-minute close right there. That's a terrible 5-minute setup now. Could have recognized that. Terrible 1-minute setup. And then this entire bullish candle gets reversed. And I'm trying to buy there at the lows and just getting skunked out, for 20 cents there. So that wasn't great. Yeah, so I think what I should have done, one, not take that trade at the top, not take that trade at the bottom. I should have waited. See, this is different. This right here is like a kind of this would have been interesting right here. So I tried taking a trade here in this sort of uncontested area, but I couldn't hold it. I was green for a second, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to take it off and just flatten out the loss, and which is fine. But then I wait too late on this next trade, as I think it's going to totally reverse here. So I should have been taking it on, yeah, right here. Okay, that's solid. I should have been taking it right there. This literally should have been my entry. Oh, I'm in it actually. And then I get spooked a little bit because it's not going immediately. And I chase it. Okay. And then I just, yeah. It's not clean. So like the moves started to be less direct and explosive, and they started to get like sellers intermediate throughout the moves, even though the moves went still. And so I was under the impression that because it wasn't going immediately, it wouldn't go at all. And that led me to cut it instead of probably relying more on situational things. That is kind of like the momo was starting to change, which is fine. I was keeping my wrist tight, but then I made mistakes on the backside. I made mistakes here, but these were like tier 1 mistakes, where it's just like, trade was a little not held long enough, etc. And then the tier 2 mistake was taking it into resistance, which is not a great setup. Not a great setup to begin with. Right here, and then not a great setup as it reversed back down to the lows. I was too eager to take the dip on this one after it had such a significant amount of selling, after it had trouble coming up, after it didn't even retest highs, and so all these things that I just wasn't paying attention to. And so it's not that these stocks are necessarily harder, it's that I think I rely more on kind of like the velocity of the movement of stuff, and I don't really look at the patterns enough and try to think where other traders and what's going on and like where other people are positioned and like what it means if like you have buyers here and then it totally gets reversed. Well, of course they're gonna have to stop out. And so that is the recap for the day. That's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.